And I just maxed out the relic for his dot damage.
person involved to interact.
Documentary is more like a documentary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It seemed like when you don't use the person, it's more
I
like
don't want to do that.
anyway.
So
So
when you do
that's why I
shit
don't
like
think it
that,
should be.
how can
When
it even
they
be called a
story that hell,
documentary?
you can do something
Because
with
once
it.
you
Like,
They
why
story
is
that
it
hell.
called a documentary when it's not?
it's still a doc. You know, it's not an autobiography, but it's a documentary.
Because once you become a public person,
Bro, none of them Pablo Escobar documentaries I watched, none of them people knew him. They all, they just, you know what I mean? Like, you can
Once
just,
you become, if you're a public person, you're in the news.
do it.
You can be Google.
so do you think that it's wrong or not?
I think it's wrong. I'm not with it either. I
Hey,
think
bro, what you talking about, Prince?
Stand for that
I don't
shit.
want nobody putting out my stuff.
I mean, if they slandering you or they violating, I think it's wrong. You know what I mean?
Sex tapes with this nigga. This
If they saluting you,
First attempt at nightmare mode
yeah.
on this shit. I'm about to get my shit fried.
Two facts. 50 is being sensitive.
Yeah.
Right? He being sensitive. This ain't really got nothing to do with fucking 50. They're just giving their opinion on people that do documentaries on individuals without their permission. Right? They ain't say the documentary is bad. They just thinking about the ethics of it. And 50 got his panties in a bunch because he feel like can't nobody say nothing.
Not surprised, brother. Not surprised with you, Prince.
To do everything he's doing on Instagram, bro, with all the extra, bro, you would have thought there was a lot more here, man. You know, to me, it just makes them look crazy because it comes across the way. And then if y'all was gonna take like an objective perspective on it, then bring up some evidence or something that counters that opposes the stance the documentary took. Right? You don't say something empowering of Diddy, or maybe you got a whole different perspective of Diddy that would make people think twice about what they saw in the documentary. You know what I mean? Like, yo, like the Diddy I know would never do that. They slandering his fucking name. I disagree. It's fucking gaslighting. Stand on that shit.
Yeah.
Give motherfuckers, disagree with the documentary, right? But they ain't do none of that. All they just said is that it's fucked up. You know, it's wrong, right? And no, ain't nothing fucked up and ain't nothing wrong about making a
Amar,
documentary.
by the way, did you play Rogue Piece? Did you get everything from it or no? Not yet.
Rogue piece.
Yep.
Uh, I. Uh, yeah, I'm caught up for the most part. I think I'm just missing Anos. I already got not Shigaraki.
Shino,
Todoroki.
Shoto.
Yeah. I just started playing something else, so I never finished them.
Uh,
Sure, he's broken as hell.
literature, yes.
Wait for the Christmas event they just announced. It'll be the first event I've ever seen in that game. Oh, I'm beating this.
Oh yeah, because you wasn't there for the Halloween.
Yeah, I wasn't there.
I'm about to say, Prince, you still there? You have a good character that you can give me an AV or no? I'm live streaming, by the way.
Ooh, let's go. I gotta see what those pants do. So, do some characters just have a higher crit chance than others?
I believe so. Yes.
So it's like AV. I'm tripping. Of course Kirito has a high crit chance. Uh,
That's what I'm talking about. 50. Like real talk, man. Like the whole Diddy trial was a joke. A joke. They ain't talking about nothing. It's like,
That'll be interesting. Maybe that'll be interesting, but maybe about the Dio one.
see now,
About to say, hey, if you give me Dio, that give me more reason to play it.
see now, I'm going crazy. It was Ray, he showed his love, man. We was all in investigations, Caesar, tape, oh 50, yeah, you about to do that, you about to do it. We was all in cahoots. You all politicians, musicians, athletes, whomever, bro. They all turned it. But they not. They didn't appreciate Diddy. You know what I'm saying? We was all in off the scene. And he got sentenced to life. Got that shit. He was not like he got a
Ah,
reputation.
that's good. That's good then.
50 was nobody talking about nothing. Nobody coming out trying to say nothing about nothing because they all connected to Diddy. And then I said this time before, but unfortunately, given current societal climate and how choppy the
Yep.
waters are, with all the damage that has been done to Diddy and his Black tribe, it's not going to stop. We're just going to keep going. And like Red, the more gruesome, the more graphic it has been, the more money they can make. Like for example, Diddy has a crazy gold mine waiting for him. Now, any other time he ain't monetized 10 years ago, something like this happened to an artist of Diddy's magnitude, he would probably go suicide regardless. He wouldn't have nothing to say. He like, shit, damn, he would tell nobody to call him. He wouldn't tell
I'm
nobody
like,
to
wait a
call him.
minute. Brother says brother needs help getting it.
Right.
Brother needs
Right.
help getting Hockey V4.
Everybody want to $11 $20.
I'm like, brother, I did that shit on my own. I don't even know how you. I literally got Hockey V4 on my own.
You about to be eating, man. So I watched this damn Diddy docu-series. Bro, bro, and they ain't implicating nobody else besides Diddy. But in this documentary, bro, they are hyper focused, hyper fixated on depicting this man as the devil that he truly is, bro. Outside of just beating women up or being jealous or being a monster or being, a narcissist or all this, bro. No, bro. They are lifting the veil to a lot of people, bro. Because real talk, a lot of what they disclose in the documentary has been information known or conspiracies that have been entertained throughout the whatever, But when they go Netflix official said, yeah, Diddy
Yeah, brother, I played it before. I still have it on my console, Prince.
KBD is currently on trial right now. Next year, I believe, sometime, right? KBD, the Trigger Man, or the supposed Trigger Man, that was hot. Being that, like I say, prior to the documentary coming out, Diddy would get out of jail and be on top of the world. But even with it, bro, the world is so fucking toxic. The world is so corrupt that he still made me very willing to sit on top of the world when he get out of jail with this stigma following him now, man. And it's not just the hip hop community. You have sports community. This shit is all around. Everybody literally loves y'all when they see Diddy get a documentary on that motherfucker. The number one thing everybody gonna tap in. Everybody know about Pac. Everybody know about Big. Most people don't know what the hell was going on with that. All of a sudden, you got a damn documentary saying Diddy behind all this. I would hope that the effect that has is gonna sit Diddy down when he get out. I would hope. It's so fucked up that you never fucking know, dog. I hope this sits Diddy the fuck down where when he gets out of jail, dog, he's just ghost. He just ghost. And I know the documentary is weighing on Bro Dog because he has since sent a Diddy has since sent a cease and desist to Netflix claim docuseries produced by 50 Cent using stolen footage, bro. That's the first thing I thought when I watched this documentary too. I'm like, how the fuck did they get this footage? How the fuck did they get behind the scenes footage of Diddy days before the trial? Right? That's supposed to be in-house. Nobody outside of Diddy's closest confidants was supposed to have access to this shit or even see this shit, bro. Like the things he was saying, shit he was doing, bro. Like all the good things you can see what type of motherfucker Diddy is, bro. Like one of, if not the most narcissistic, egotistical, God complex motherfucker on the Like it just you don't even depict him, bro. You can just let the footage speak for itself and see the type of regardless of what the fuck was on the trial, he still believed he was God. He still believed he was on top. He still believed he had control, which he did not. This little temporary stint he be in prison, bro. Like he can do anything to his mindset, bro. He gonna fucking get out and go on top, bro. But this documentary will hopefully sit this motherfucker down. Right? Can't have people out here walking around with this God motherfucker. On the eve of Netflix releasing a highly anticipated docuseries about Diddy, produced by his longtime foe Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, the Battle Mogul lawyers have sent a cease and desist letter to the streaming giant demanding it not release Sean Combs' record. Diddy's lawyers are sending that shit out speaks volumes, bro. Oh, you just had the trial, bro. Like, what can be said that hasn't been said already? A whole lot. Netflix stand on it, bro. People gonna take it twice as long as if they want the for what they shown. Diddy had everybody killed. I mean, you know, all this motherfucker, with everybody, dog. Everybody, bro. Pretty much burned Bad Boy to the ground. You know what I'm saying? To prop him up as the king of hip hop. Pretty much, there's no talent, no rap, no there's a part where this shit like yesterday, bro, when Diddy performed the song. Sing the chorus, bro. I've seen this shit live. I've seen everybody being impacted, bro. But then fast forward, goddamn 30 years, and you see all the shit going on behind the scenes, bro. The dog orchestrated this whole shit, right? Trying to exploit the pain everybody is going through to prop his ass up as king. Where the whole time, lo and behold, this motherfucker had Big killed, dog. It's crazy. Yeah, in a statement provided to CNN, the spokesperson for Combs also accused Netflix of using stolen footage that was never authorized for release in what they called a shameful hit piece. Yeah, I'm curious about how they got that footage. What they so happy.
Motherfucker rolled Ruler on Speedwagon.
Paid a pretty penny to get
Yep,
in.
not surprised.
That's a different type of pain right there. I don't wanna go through that.
Footage that Combs represented was shown in Netflix official trailer for the project was released on Monday morning. We need to find someone who will work with us, who has worked in the dirtiest of dirty businesses, Combs says.
I'll be back.
That document.
You're telling me you don't want to be on your feet 12 hours a day anymore? You're telling me you weren't tired of dealing with people from 9 to 5? You wake up and think, is this really my life forever? Maybe you just want peace, stability, and a normal life. Well, you must be lazy, entitled, and soft. Or, is it true? You live in a world where burnout is normal, but saying you want something else, that is taboo. But being scared does not mean that you are wrong, and you can overcome that fear using something like Triple 10. It is an online educational bootcamp that teaches you how to switch careers, and it helps you even land a job to work from home and avoid Karens and people who just don't shower and they're sneaky. If you don't get a job, you will get 100% of your money back, and that is true. So there is no wisdom. Still, this is cool. But trust me, it takes less time at university, and in no time you will be working in your dream career. This is your chance to make your life better, as they teach you everything you need to know. And as for everyone else's opinions, they don't matter. Okay? Because in no time, they're going to be asking you, yo, how'd you get that C? If you're interested, just comment Triple 10 to book a free consultation. In this career consultation, they will map out the best possible career for you, so you can focus on living the life you want to live. Good luck.
You're like, yeah, I just wish I had.
Bad boy for life. Yeah, he wasn't kidding. Bad boy is an understatement. Bad boy, no. Not Jeffrey Epstein, bad boy. So we've done a fair bit about P. Diddy in the last year. You know, did he kill Tupac? Probably. Did he destroy Cassie's life? Yeah, looks like it. And even on his Wikipedia in 2017, he had a lawsuit from his personal chef Cindy, who had allegations against him of sexual assault. Then after the Cassie thing, this was only months ago, he has 2 more allegations of sexual assault and revenge. Then in December 2023, he was accused of 5 women of raping her when she was only 17. And now a few months on from that, we've got one of his male producers who worked for him now accusing him with a full-blown lawsuit. Now the guy in question, his name is Rodney Jones, or Lil Rod as his producer name is. He's accused of a lot of different things, including touching the anus, which is another day in the office for me. So the first big thing you hear about is P. Diddy shooting a guy at a recording studio. Now, I couldn't believe this, because you think, like, the death row era was 30-fucking years ago. P. Diddy is in his mid-50s, and he's still, you know, giving it the big one, as if he's some gangster. But apparently he is. Now, P. Diddy and his son, and this other guy, G, leave the room, but they're like 2 feet away. You can still hear everything that's going on being said. And a gunshot goes off. Now, Mr. Jones goes in the room, sees the guy on the floor bleeding out, and
tries to help the guy, runs the ambulance and tells people, right, we need to get some help. Now, P. Diddy at that point said, look, I had nothing to do with this. If anyone asks, this was a drive-by shooting outside the studio. Keep my fucking name out of it. So Mr. Jones gets into the ambulance, looks after him, tells the lies that he was supposed to tell, and, you know, covers everything up for him. And the guy's even screenshotted a news story from the shooting, just to prove that it happened where he said it happened, and the story, the official story, was as he said it was. But in truth, he actually took photographs of the crime scene itself and kept them for just such a lawsuit, coincidentally, as the evidence to corroborate everything he's saying, that the shooting did take place inside the studio, not on the street. And Mr. Jones actually still has the clothes that he was wearing that day, so that could also help with DNA evidence, etc., of the guy's blood on his clothes. And I think at this point, the way the lawsuit is written was when he really started being intimidated by P. Diddy. Like, he's just watched this guy blow another guy away almost. I think the guy survived as it happened, but he's obviously not afraid to kill someone. So I think we have to bear that in mind for the remainder of this lawsuit. Like, when you watch someone do that, you know they're not right. You are going to be a little bit fucking intimidated, to say the least, if you're just some normal music dude. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there was also constant and unsolicited touching of the anus while in the workplace, which I'm not totally familiar with the laws in America. That's the totally thing. And P. Diddy would also make this guy work in the bathroom, which is weird. P. Diddy would be walking around, getting in the shower, lounging up. This guy's trying to create music. Careful, I'm going to make more money, more profit, or bath or something like that. And instead, I'm just sitting watching Diddy have a Tommy Tank in the shower. Not really what he signed up for, was it? Of course he could.
Schwab is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like, you know, I'm more than just a big fan. I'm also a big fan. When I say insurance, you say financial services. Insurance. Insurance. Now, when I say Schwab, you say...
Musical inspiration anyway, but... And what becomes very clear when you're reading this lawsuit is that all of the staff around P. Diddy that he hired are just there to aid and abet him in all of the fucked up shit he wants to do. There's this one woman called Christina Karam KK. She is the chief of staff, and she is very much like the Ghislaine Maxwell, according to this man. She is there to hush the people who might complain and supply Diddy with any drugs, women, anything else he wants. And if you do complain, as Mr. Jones did, she says, well, Sean will be Sean. And that's his way of showing he likes you, as if you should take it as a compliment. And Christina Karam, or KK, as she's referred to sometimes in this, she required all employees from the butler to the chef, the housekeepers, to walk around with a pouch filled with cocaine, ecstasy, marijuana gummies. Basically, Diddy could ask any of these people anytime, yeah, I'll have some drugs now, please. And they would hand it over. Some people just have too much money. Like, that is mental. And that really paints quite a, like, childlike state of mind that P. Diddy is in, where, like, everyone at all times needs to have, like, his sweets on them at any one point. It's mental, that. And what I will say is, the more you read into this, there's such specific details in it that you just think, why would you lie about it? Whether or not this is all true is one thing, but there's a lot of truth in this, it's obvious. And apparently Mr. Jones himself was forced to carry around one of these pouches full of the drugs as well. Now, with Rodney Jones being a record producer himself, he obviously idolized other guys in music, including Stevie J, who worked with P. Diddy. Now, P. Diddy knew that Jones idolized this Stevie J character, so he used that as a way of trying to coerce him into homosexual acts with P. Diddy. So he apparently showed him a video of Stevie J having sex with another man as a way of going, see, we're all doing it. You're the odd one out here. Get yourself in there. What's wrong with you? You know, we're all fucking having a good time here. You don't want to join in. Boring. I'm not sure if that's exact words. I'm just assuming. And as far-fetched as that sounds, there are pictures of this video in question in the actual lawsuit. So it does look like he's got quite a bit of proof to what he's saying. That was a way to further encourage Mr. Jones to have homosexual sex with him. He said, look, I've been doing it with lots of your favourite artists. There's rapper number 5 and R&B singer number 6, redacted, meaning we can't actually see their names in the lawsuit. But it does give us a clue, so I'll let you work out. So the rapper is a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj. You don't have to be a great detective to know that that one's Meek Mill. And also there's a video of P. Diddy by the pool with Meek Mill where he calls him Daddy.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. Putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
So I guess we all know who was the receiver. And then the R&B singer, this is a real brain buster. See if you can guess this one. He's just performed at the Super Bowl. Yeah! Can't wait for Confessions 3, let me tell you. These are my confessions. Yeah, oh, I don't know. let's be real though. Usher has been living with P Diddy since he was what 14. I heard about this years ago how Usher had lost his virginity because P Diddy had sent hookers, ironically, which we'll learn more about in this, into his fucking room when he was still a kid, which is gross as fuck to start with. But these guys have been around each other for years, and P Diddy is this slime ball. We all know it now. If you're not into that, you wouldn't have remained as close to him as you have for so long, right? So I'm not surprised. I suppose now when Usher's all over these wives of these men who go to these Vegas shows, the guys can now sit back and go, yeah, but P Diddy shagged you. So, whatever. You know, you can take her for a spin if you want, mate. I'm not threatened by you, alright, pal? Dance all you like, kid. At least I didn't get shagged by P Diddy as he gropes me wife. No, that Super Bowl performance was great. The rollerblades, we should have known. What grown man rollerblades? Do you know what I mean? There was the clue. Only Mayweather and Usher, apparently. And Mayweather's defended P Diddy lately, so maybe it's some sort of rollerblading gang. It seems like Meek Mill shagged P Diddy was shagging Usher. I don't know who was giving who was receiving. You could have had a line of them where Meek Mill's here, he's shagging P Diddy up the arse, and then P Diddy shagging Usher up the arse, like a human centipede. I'm just giving the idea. There's a music video we'll be seeing soon. And actually, P Diddy did say to this guy, if you give me sex, I'll get you a Grammy. Probably just shove it up his arse. The perfect size for it. That's why I'll never get a Grammy. I wouldn't trust them. Now, one of the women's Young Miami, who's another music artist, a cousin of his who's a female, she was told to go and try it on with Mr. Jones while he was going to the toilet. So he's having a piss. She bursts into the door, gets on her knees, and starts performing oral sex on him. Don't you see, saying this is a really bad thing in here? I've had it done to me before at a bar, and it didn't come to me. Maybe I should. Maybe now looking back at it, there's a most of it. She's not going to do it, actually. I'm just going to leave it. It's fine. So Young Miami, who's an artist who works with P Diddy, his cousin, who's a female, she was instructed to go after Mr. Jones while he was having a piss. So she bursts in through the door, he's mid-piss. She gets on her knees, starts sucking him off, you know, but refuses to let go. He pushes her away, goes to sit down, she's straddling him, trying to shag him in front of the group. And yeah, I mean, fair enough, like, that's out of order, right? As much as we look at things differently when it's a man and a woman, that's not on, is it? As much as a lot of men, me included, would be like, it's not on if you're not. Do you know what I mean? And sex workers do play a massive part in this also. I mean, he was forced to solicit sex workers, Mr. Jones himself, and to perform sex acts on them to please Diddy. And this seemed to happen a lot. I do have to wonder, like, why did you continue on doing all of these things? Like, if you didn't want to be there, you didn't want to perform these sex acts with all of these women. Like, I understand there was fear from people, but you could have just said, you know what, I don't want to work with you anymore. Intentionally. I always like to explore the other side of this, because there are two sides to every story. Now, one of the reasons may have been because of the drugs, because he did say that he was being forced to bring these prostitutes, he'd be drinking things that were laced with drugs as well. So he'd wake up in the morning not knowing what the hell had happened, and apparently he was in bed with two sex workers and P Diddy, who was also naked. You do wonder.
You have to figure it out. At West Coast University, Texas, support is next. It's built in. All of our nursing programs include tutoring, clinical placement support, and faculty who know you by name. At WCU Texas, we're with you, start to finish. Find out more at westcoastuniversity.edu.
You know what I mean? He's not saying he had sex with P Diddy, but it does seem very possible. Now, other things that P Diddy would do in order to control this man and to keep him doing what he wanted him to do, he offered him $250,000 for instruments for him to buy. He offered him ownership of a property worth $20 million. I don't think he was going to deliver on any of these promises by the looks of it. And then when that didn't work, he would then threaten him with violence. One of the things he threatened him with was to eat his face. Now, it's a bit extreme. Whatever happened to just, I'm going to break your fucking legs or something like that? Like, eat your face. Very Hannibal Lecter. To the lamb still scream, Clarice. Now, this is really fucking dark, actually, because he does actually say he would kill his own mother to get his way. Now, when you say shit like that, to be honest, I think he's a very much a try-hard, Diddy. He wants to come across as way scarier than he really is, because he's not an intimidating looking bloke in the slightest. Like, you know, if there was no guns around, you just slap the shit out. But he says things like this to get in the mind of people. Like, don't think I won't fucking kill you, because I'd kill anyone. And I get how that would play a part. And in some of these sex parties, Mr. Jones has speculated that some of the girls were underage. And by that, he means under the age of 16. Now, in one of those, there was an R&B singer there who was very famous, but the name has been redacted. However, what I can tell you is that he is a Grammy Award-winning R&B singer who had trouble with law enforcement after assaulting a a Bayesian billion. She looks familiar. That's Rihanna. Chris Brown. Right, okay. So we've now got Chris Brown roped into this weird, dirty shit. And apparently,
What the
Mr.
hell?
Jones would try and leave these parties. Then he would remove his car keys and do the usual thing of threatening him, then getting him to drink the drugged up alcohol, and then he'd pass out quick in the morning. And he takes more pictures and things around him, and there's more evidence in the lawsuit from that. Now, obviously, he's actually there to be creating music for this prick. And when P. Diddy, it's time to pay up, tells him, I'll give you the bare fucking minimum, which is next to nothing compared to what he's probably owed for all the work he did. I mean, he produced like 9 tracks on the album. And when he openly begs for compensation on social media, he's then sent direct messages from this Stevie J guy threatening him. And in part of the threats at times from P. Diddy also brought the shootings that happened in the past, one including a rapper called Shine, who was a bit of a legendary rapper back in the day. He went down for his part in the shooting in a club. Now, P. Diddy actually told Mr. Jones privately that he was responsible for the shooting, and it was Jennifer Lopez, who was dating P. Diddy at the time, who stuck the gun in her handbag in jail. This is pre-Hollywood jail, when she was, you know, a dancer from the hood. Now she's not Jennifer Lopez, she's just Hollywood. You know, she's not going to sneak a fucking gun into a club for Ben Affleck. She wouldn't have to. He's Batman. Cuba Gooding Jr. I mean, he's been done for a few things lately, apparently, sexually aggravated. He's one of my favourite actors growing up in Boys in the Hood, Men of Honor, and now you just listen to the things he's accused of. Apparently, he goes on a yacht with P. Diddy, and P. Diddy says to Mr. Jones and Cuba Gooding, I'll leave you two to get to know each other a bit better, shall I? So they're in this fucking room, and Cuba Gooding Jr. starts trying it on. Apparently, he was touching him, groping him, fondling Jones' legs, his upper inner thighs near his groin, and near the small back neck of his buttocks and his shoulders. And as if this couldn't get any more Jeffrey Epstein, apparently P. Diddy had hidden cameras in all of his rooms. When he'd have these parties and all these celebrities, musicians, athletes are there getting their freak on, he's obviously capturing all of the evidence on camera so that he can then blackmail them. Well, he's literally Jeffrey Epstein. That is literally what they said Epstein would have done to all of these politicians, which is how he maintained his power. And in case that wasn't clear, none of the people who were in the house would have known that those cameras were there. Or if anyone did, it would have been a very small and select few who were there for P. Diddy. They also mentioned that Diddy did grab Jones's crotch thoroughly. Look, maybe he was just checking for lumps for cancer. Do you know what I mean? He was just looking out for him. There's a defense, but I doubt it. I do think that he was definitely just trying to get off him. Now, as a result of that, Mr. Jones does say that he continues to suffer harm, including physical injury. I'm not really sure where the physical injury came in throughout this. I don't know at what point he was injured. There isn't anything really concrete mentioned like that. However, he does say emotional distress, humiliation, anxiety, and basically he wants money. Now, the amount of money being suggested as a payment for his damages is $30 million, which I believe is roughly what Cassie got in her lawsuit against P. Diddy. Now, for me, the Cassie one, it was extreme. It was a very long period of time, and it was just non-stop, constant pain and suffering at the hands of this man who was supposed to be, you know, her boyfriend. And I just feel like it was so much more severe than what I'm reading. I'm not saying this is good by any means, it's not bad. But it's a lot shorter of a time, and it's nowhere near as brutal as what she went through, in my opinion. That being said, I do think he should be at least paid for the work he's done. And then, in terms of the damages, I think it's fair to say that what he was put through wasn't nice at all. It was pretty fucking bad. But I just think, like, to say it's on the same level as Cassie would be fucking mental.
It's not something I haven't done said that. I've always hustling for years. Cloud is designed almost like a playground. They provide you with some minutes guidance for you to start. It allows you to disappear in the creative process. It's about the making. Adobe Creative Cloud gets me into the zone.
However, P. Diddy has denied it, which he kind of denied the Cassie one, but then he paid up immediately. So you're like, well, alright, we all know that you fucking did more. Diddy's team have said Lil Rod is nothing more than a liar who filed a $30 million lawsuit shamelessly looking for an undeserved payday. Just a little question. Does that mean the Cassie one was deserved? Because he paid that immediately. His reckless name dropping about events that are pure fiction and simply did not happen is nothing more than a transparent attempt to garner ahead. Say pure fiction, but like he's taken photographs photographs of the blood on the floor of where Diddy apparently shot the guy, and he's saying he's got his foot from that day, which should also have the blood from the guy who got shot. And then he's saying he's got hundreds of hours of footage that he can see getting to back up all of these things. So if they're saying they're pure fiction, well then we're going to court, motherfucker. And I think that this could be the beginning of the end for him. If he fucks this up and he loses badly, and this guy turns out with a lot more evidence than he's aware he has, it'll just give confidence to all the other people who've probably been a victim of beating. Because if there's one thing I'm gathering from this is probably the tip of the iceberg. And I always try and keep an open mind, but there is so much smoke here, there's bound to be fire. Now, in terms of how much of this do I believe, I think there's a chance some of it, if not all of it, is true. But lawsuits like this are always very over-egged to make it almost exaggerated to a point where you're more likely to get the payout because it sounds so bad and these people just wanted to go away sometimes. Things like, oh, I was constantly having sex with all these prostitutes, but I really didn't want to. I mean, like, things like that I'm a bit skeptical of. Whereas the very specific examples of him saying Cuba Gooding Jr. of all people did this to me, I'm like, it's a bit of a weird lie to make up if it never happened. You know, you're trying to understand the logic of why you would lie, what is the motive, and I think maybe P. Diddy's team have a point of if you use a big name, it's more likely to get media headlines and put more pressure on Diddy to settle with you. Potential. But there are so many specifics in the story. I am inclined to believe some of it. I just don't think that he was as white as he claims he was either. I think periodically he may have enjoyed taking the drugs, enjoying the women, getting drunk, being a part of this big group of celebrities. But at some point, maybe when the fucking money wasn't getting paid out for all the fucking work he did, his mind might have changed. And maybe that's when he started thinking, you know what, I can actually take some of this footage. Because P. Diddy is notorious for paying his artists horrendously. So maybe the motives of Mr. Jones aren't as clean as he's acting like they are, but that doesn't mean that everything he's saying here was a lie. For example, he's saying he knowingly went and recruited girls, put them into an atmosphere and argued where they were going to be given drinks that were laced with cocaine. And he's exonerating himself, saying, well, Peter, he made me come out and do it with skin and stars. You know what I mean? And I do think some of this shit is true. But I think P. Diddy enjoys a lifestyle that is pretty evil, and he just doesn't give a fuck who he hurts in the process. He gets the pleasure that he's craving, and as we'll see with Cassie, he will destroy a life and not give a fuck. He said that about his book. I think he's probably he doesn't give a fuck about any process. But that's just my take. Let me know what your opinion is in the comments. I really do love seeing how you guys are kids and what your take on it is. Anything I missed, let us know. And I know I tried to learn this, but obviously it is a conversation thing. Anyway, hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe for the next update on this page. Court is now in session. Judge Jody back with another Diddy trial video. And I'm keeping them coming, so hit that like button, subscribe, because they're all over you. Like baby oil. People actually put baby oil on babies. This is totally tainted the way I look at that product. I've never tried it before. I don't know if sales have gone up or down. Let me know in the comments. Just a little refresh for you before we go into all the juicy details on what Diddy is actually charged with. Racketeering conspiracy. This is where he is coordinating with his employees to do illegal trade. For example, if Diddy told his associates to lure women to an event of his, drug them up, and then coerce them into doing a free off, then he used those same associates to pay them off or intimidate them so they didn't.
Yo, you seen that new One Piece episode?
Yeah, with Joy Boy's hockey. Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Had that boy Luffy shook. Like, that's crazy. Respect. I'm ready to get some lore though. I need to know what the fuck that was all about.
Well, basically, I guess you would say Joy Boy predicted this, if you will, because he put that in. He put that in it.
Really?
Not that he pulled his hockey in it. His strongest hockey. So yeah, that's the lore behind that.
Holy shit. This must be. It has
Excuse
to
me.
be, yeah. I wonder if I can beat that now. Well, I need one more universal fragment.
Swordsman outfit.
Finally over the breakup yet? And she's all like, I just really needed him to know that it's over. Do you know? I just needed him to know. Yeah, that makes sense. How did he take it? Did he cry? Was he upset? Yeah, he took it hard. He took it really hard. Well, I mean, it's tough at the end of the day. If he doesn't learn to respect your boundaries, he's going to have made a deal. And that's exactly what I said. He's nuts. And she texted Diddy while she was with his I lost with her while she was there. Diddy asked if she wanted to have a freak off last time. She replied that she wanted to have a freak off for the first time for the rest of her lives. Words of a woman who was naturally still saying how brave she is. The guys are like, sorry, it's a fucking book. Like, this is before we talk about the Grace Bayless, who said she was not going to go. Not to mention there's another Bayless who we're going to go play. And the minute she went about organise them another time and say, no, we should do one. That's where they missed an opportunity to do one. Say, we should do one before you left. Now, don't get me wrong, she could just be a great actress. I think Korea would not suggest that. Like, I don't think she's got any Oscars. But it is possible. And we now have a detailed breakdown of how a freak off would go. Basically,
I know the boss does make this game. Wait a minute, where is he? Oh, there he is.
lots and lots of baby oil. This would take a while because this is heated so that it's extra shiny. And he insists on it being reapplied every few minutes so they just glisten. Sometimes not really much for Diddy because he would get really turned on and he'd kind of slow down. It's getting too hot here. Then came over 6 months before it. Too early, right? You gotta stay strongly and far. But Diddy's just sitting there saying, look, kids. Cassie, we left at home. You know, the dynamic with having the baby mama on holiday with them did spark some issues and tension within the relationship. In this message, Cassie says, I've been at the edge of tears this whole week. I don't think you sympathise with my feelings. I understand you feeling like you need to protect your children, but after a while, it's like, for what? They've never known you and Kim be together unless there's something that I just don't know. They were babies when we started dating. The more the time goes by, the harder it is to understand. I'm here, ready to be that woman, and I'm in a constant fight because you won't get well. This isn't what I want. I can't look woman this way. I'm bracing myself for pictures that are not the real world. Pictures of their homes and family. Here it is. I'm going to spend time with my kids. I'm sorry to feel like that makes me take. Well, I hope you enjoy the kids, Cassie says. I don't trust that I'm in the type of sexual relationship me, you have with her having the recent past. Today, I texted you that I wish we could freak out before you left my let's chat. She's feeling threatened by him. She knows her guy is a horny man, but he needs sex all the time when he's going away with a woman. And he's had babies with multiple things. She said, I don't trust that you're going to be away with this woman and not going to fuck her woman either way. I did say I really want to freak out. She's dangling that freak out coming in. It's swift and regular. She's using sex to keep mentioning freakouts at all then. He wasn't pressurizing her. She was voluntarily again bringing up because it would help her in that scenario. So this whole thing about he had total control over her and would be the one always pushing the freakouts and she never wanted to do it, which was the way the government set the case up. So the more we look into the text messages, the more Cassie, as a witness, becomes less and less credible. And again, I'm not saying she's not a victim. Clearly, she's been beaten up by this guy loads of times, and I think that's horrendous. But specifically when it comes to her doing these kind of sex acts for him, to say that they are non-consensual at this point is just far more evidence to back up that they were. And they're basically saying that they weren't, in my opinion, specifically when they were and she says that's what I'll take them, and thank you for listening to me so far. And I cannot express how grateful I am that you've chosen to be a part of it. And let's take a look at the time. So the last bit where the defense are really trying to go for a big finish here. One of the things that came out was Cassie texted Diddy while she was with her now saying, I'm lost without him. Again, trying to prove, this is this big bad wolf. Why is she? But this time, she wrote to Diddy, I do love you, I just prefer not being one of your girlfriends. Let's get you to all that. Please renew from 6 to 9 years. I will you. next person to take the stand after Cassie was this lady right here, Dawn Richard, or as she likes to be known, Dawn Richard. I think she thinks that makes it sound more exotic, but we all know Dawn Richard. Now, the first story she came up with was the story of Diddy hitting Cassie with a skillet of the pan full of eggs. He came downstairs asking where his phone was. Maybe Cassie had been looking at his phone or something. I don't know why. He might be in a rage, but maybe he's just a fucking lunatic. Who knows? He threw her to the ground and attempted to strike her with a skillet full of eggs. He attempted to kick her. She fell to the ground and went into the fetal position, trying to hide her head. So she witnessed this. It's not just Cassie's word that, she was abused like that, even though we've got CCTV as well. Now, apparently, a day later, Diddy said, look, I know what you're saying, and if you tell anyone, people will go missing. Which obviously, if he said that means I've got to kill someone if he's doing for this. Maybe him. Now, when they cross-examined her, it was quite interesting because this girl has actually already filed a civil suit trying to get money out of Diddy. So there's a vested interest in her to say as bad as things are possible. What they say is that the story is wrong. So actually got as close as I can get. Well, the day after, you said, Mr. Combs said, people go missing. Yes. Well, let's look back at your interview earlier in the year where you didn't say anything about Diddy saying people go missing. I don't recall that. No worries. Well, let me pull up the documents. Isn't it true that the first time you said this was a week ago? Would you like me to show you your previous interviews? I don't know what I saw. 7 times weren't you previously been asked about this? Again, they're just trying to diminish your credibility as a witness. And look, you'd think if someone had threatened your life and you were interviewed that many times about before, you wouldn't have just remembered it the week before going into court. She took the Usher in this bed, shining cherries, away from the ladies. I can tell Nicole, what have you been fucking saying me? That's what I want to know, because Diddy and Usher have been together for 8 years. Usher's got more dirt on Diddy than anyone, man. Get him on a lie detector. Well, apparently, this was the first time that Dawn Richard had disclosed that Usher and Neo and them were there at the time this happened. And they said, like, oh, no, no, no. Why are you bringing this up now? And she just replied, I'm not sure. Which is like, despite all of that. And one of the funny things that they brought up in the end is the songs you released on your own have not reached the level of what you released with Diddy, right? True. And then you reached out to Diddy to try and make more money, right? Yes. So when you just sat there slagging him off, and then when you did actually go back for more work, didn't you? And you did want to take more money off him, didn't you? It really discredits what they're saying, in my opinion. And I'm not saying that that's going to be enough for Diddy to be up. He's fucked. He's fucked, man. But like, they just have fucked. And stuff like that, it can't do with his defense anymore. Next on the stand was Kerry Morgan, this little one last year, who was a very good friend for a lot of years to Cassie. She said, we were best friends until her boyfriend assaulted me. So Diddy didn't just hit Cassie, he hit her as well. He hit me with a wooden coat hanger and choked me. Where did the hanger hit you? Behind the right ear. What did he express concern about? Who Cassie was cheating on him with. So he thought Cassie was cheating, he thought she must have known, and he thought he could get the answers out of her. It is mental how Diddy just acted like the law didn't exist. Like if someone's cheating on you, it's like as if they've got in, you got to accept it, you got to move on. He just thought they could smash a hammer off your head, even though it's not even, you're not even the lass, you're just a mate. Fuck it. There was more accounts from Kerry Morgan on the brutality towards Cassie. He hit her. Apparently in Jamaica they were arguing about jealousy. He dragged her by the hair. There's just so much evidence of the domestic violence. It's unbelievable. Now this girl doesn't speak to her anymore because Cassie didn't support her after Diddy assaulted her. She drew the line there, and that was the end of it after she got herself. So this isn't even really a friend of Cassie now. Someone who was a friend, well, now has nothing to do with it. So there is no reason for her to lie about this. Really. I think that this gives her good credibility as a witness. She's already been paid off. There's nothing to gain from what she's saying here. Unlike Dawn Richard, who's busy trying to egg it on. Next up, we have David James, Diddy's former PA, who knew a lot about Diddy. He said when he started working with Diddy, he had a lot of girlfriends. There was Sarah, Tara, and Cassie. So Cassie was, competing to get that spot, right? It wasn't just like she had it all her own way. And he says in his first conversation with Cassie that she commented, this lifestyle is crazy, which shows she was loving the lifestyle of being with a billionaire. And like, no shit, right? But I think a lot of people have downplayed that as much as possible, as if that wasn't a massive motivating factor for Diddy to be, for Cassie to be in Diddy's life. But it obviously was, especially when he is the way he is, the fact that he's an abusive bastard. You've got to balance all of that out somehow in your mind. Is it worth it or not? And when the PA was talking with Diddy, I think he was saying things like, I have Cassie right where I want her. She's not fucking, that's massive in my opinion, because that shows the train of thought Diddy was on, and that was why, to a degree, the prosecution are trying to say that Cassie was molded into being this. It wasn't what she wanted. And I do think that some of the messages that you see from Cassie, you see like a yearning or wanting to be loved by Diddy, to be the main girl, to be that woman for him. But when you're talking about women in general, like men when we're dating women, occasionally you will meet a woman who they don't have that like self-love necessarily, and what they're looking for is being approval. And rather than like being themselves when you meet them, they're just trying to figure out what you want so that they can then try and replicate what that is. And I like to think that I am one in that story will recognize that and go, it's alright, you don't have to just pretend to be what I like. Just be yourself, and that's all you have to be. But a psychopath will love that and will exploit that. And I do think that as much as we've got all of these text messages here from Cassie saying that she was in a breakup so what, to deny an element of Diddy exploiting that side of her personality would be completely disingenuous. This was a very complicated situation, and when we've got people saying Cassie was the victim, Cassie was also a part of it, I think there's a lot of truth on both sides here. One thing that was interesting is that this PA would work 20 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like, the guy was well overworked. Maybe that'll play in kids later, but he said he didn't witness any violence towards Cassie. In fact, this guy, I think, put his hands on a woman in one point, and he actually told him, stop putting your hands on women. It's all about the life. And this PA was the guy who would have been an innocent man for Diddy full of Viagra, ecstasy, perks, or all of the drugs that he would even pay victims himself. And there's no records, there'll be no direct kind of transaction from that to the actual business. And then he would just put that himself in cash. This is really important for the criminal enterprise. And having, a setup where his associates would be doing his bidding for him. And what's mad is apparently they used to get ecstasy pills shaped like Barack Obama. You didn't expect that when you started this trial, did you? This is why you need to stay subscribed, right? You never know what I'm going to say next. But rapid buttons, right? Sometimes you get on your fucking again. Follow along again. Not kids on Barack probably wish he was he did take ecstasy himself at one point, the PA said, and he said that was Diddy supplying it to him. He was drinking syrup, took ecstasy, and apparently it was Diddy bombing. They asked him what that meant. He said Diamond. And you speak to Diddy and you find it apparently viewing the footage of the party. They had a videographer who filmed the moment, and they said, hey Playboy, was that you dancing around at the party? I said yes. I'm going to keep the video in case I ever need it. Meaning, and then the PA said, nah, I'd be embarrassed. Some people are saying that's proof. That's the blackmail. See? I said, well, embarrassing dancing, is that really something seriously as a blackmail? Now, during these parties, multiple times, jewelry was stolen, and he was supposed to take a lot of control over the hospital from. So he took multiple drugs. He said it was very intimidating. I think one of his had my head and my chest in my hand as he stood tall on the mic. That is something that we can pick up. He did accidentally witness one of the photos. This guy apparently next to the moving icon near the key, so he just happened to stand right and walks in. Cassie's on the bed. They ask him, who did you see? He said, I've seen another guy, I didn't recognise him. He was about 5'8" with long hair and had a large endowment. Imagine that. You're just like, what the fuck is going on here? Do you know about this? Then upstairs, Cassie's mother. This was just a bad one. They didn't even cross it off. They just left it there. The main arguing point that she made was that Diddy had threatened to release a sex tape of Cassie, and if you react, it made me sick. Diddy had demanded $20 grand. He said, recoup the losses from my husband and myself. Why don't you take a loan to pay Diddy for the safety of my daughter and get the buy the next stick out. Then steps up this guy known as the Punisher. What a nickname for a male. Let's not get extra business in that. So this guy was a male exotic dancer who said he was booked for the striptease for a small group. That when he arrived at Trump Tower, which is where they had the hotel room, he walked in and Cassie was there wearing a bathrobe and nothing underneath. I had a wig room. I was expecting a crowd, but there was no one else. She told me that her and her husband wanted to create a sexual scene with baby oil. Can't forget the baby oil. She handed $800 to him, and the room was dimly lit with electric candles, bowls of water, and bowls of baby oil. She told me not to acknowledge her husband, not to look at him when he came out. Apparently he came out, he was naked, but he had a mask on so you couldn't see his face. And he was carrying the bottle of oil. In case run out of baby oil. From what we can gather from there, he hooked her, and then towards the end, she went off into the room with Diddy, and when she came back, she asked him if he would. I said no. If they were happy, I was happy. What a professional life. There's not many men who say no to Cassie in that scene. Probably had more work to do, to be fair. They asked how often it happened. He said between 8 and 12 times. So this was a regular guy. They asked if he recognised her. He said yes, because he was a fan of Diddy, and he recognised her on Instagram. Imagine that, mate. You're used to like a bunch of rowdy women, hey, get your kit off, and then all of a sudden, like, Cassie's in front of you, and it's like, yeah, fuck Cassie, mate. That's when you think, this is alright, this job, I could get into this. Probably not what I'm supposed to be thinking, mate. I get it, it's not the point. But equally, you guys want this from all angles. That's what I give you on this job. Every angle. I bet you every time you listen to either of their songs, they might sound the same. They asked him, how did he direct you when this was all going on? He said, Mr. Combs might say, sit forward, move the camera, oxygen and sexual. One time during sex, he just dropped a stack of money and said, I like this shit. The stack of money thing is a problem because remember, this is about him paying people for sex. And the guy is saying he literally dropped a whole bunch of money on me right now. So I mean, that is it. It's also going to check this. Vinny was the impenetrable person who was in the mouth.
Wish me